Path of Titans will be getting a 10-year plan, a 10-year cycle of content. Once it finishes its current development cycle, there'll be more content to come to the game, and this could mean more dinosaurs, more content, more updates, and so much more. Today we're going to be talking about what this 10-year plan is, how we even know about it, and of course theories on what could be in this 10-year plan. But before I do get into the video, I want to leave a question for you guys. In the next 10 years for Path of Titans, what do you want to be brought into the game that isn't already planned for the game? Let me know in the comments. Path of Titans will be getting a 10-year plan. A 10-year plan, if you guys do not know, is basically a way to keep the game updated for the next 10 years. Kind of like a live service game where it's constantly getting updates, which Path of Titans currently is, a live service game. This also falls suit into similar games like World of Tanks and Halo Infinite, which are also live service games which have a similar 10-year plan about them. So how do we know this is coming to Path of Titans? Well, 2 years ago in 2021, one of the lead developers, Alderon Games, said this: "I think $30 is amazing value for a 5 to 10 years of planned life cycle we have to give the game, including mods." This was also added to and expanded upon in 2023, recently reaffirming that from both February and, well, as early as this month. Firstly, in February, he said this: "Well, we're a live service kind of game where we will keep updating the game for like 5 or 10 years. This was also reaffirmed once again in April, this month, literally on the 4th of this month or the 6th, I can't remember, around that time, essentially saying this: "The plan is to have the game to be worked on in some way or another for the next 5 to 10 years. So yes, we'll be seeing upwards of a 5 to 10 year plan for this game." He also said this could be even longer than that if the community is running the game still. He also goes on jokingly, because someone mentioned Path of Titans 2 as a joke, and he mentioned that, "I don't know why I'd ever make a Path of Titans 2 when you can just keep working on the same game forever and no need to resell it to people." So it basically just indicates there won't be a Path of Titans 2. Path of Titans will just be constantly updated, and then once that life cycle is over, that means the life cycle is over and it's up to modders to basically keep the game alive. So we know Path of Titans will be getting a 5 to 10 year cycle. But what is this timeline going to be looking like, and when could we realistically think this will happen? Currently, it's 2023. Matt originally said the 10-year plan comments back in 2021, so we actually have 2 comments and choices for it. The 10-year plan started in 2021, or the 10-year plan is starting on from when the game leaves its early access phase. This means we have either seen content up to these years: 2026, 2028 and onwards, 2031 and 2033 and onwards. Now, the reason why I included 2026 and 2028 is mainly because Matt mentioned it could be a 5 to 10 year plan. So I'm basically saying that anywhere between 2026 and 2031 or 2033, those are the timeframes where the game will eventually stop its development cycle and they'll move on to bigger and greater products, i.e. that game that's sat on the Alderon Games launcher that has not been touched for like 3 years. So if we look at the timeline, we can basically indicate what could be coming in the years coming up. In 2023, we'll be seeing the quest update and the combat update. We'll be seeing new aquatics, most likely with Uranosaurus and Hatzegopteryx. New dinosaurs will most likely come to the game. I'm going to guess that all of the remaining dinosaurs will come to the game: Achillobator, Miragaia, and of course Microraptor, and then the mystery dinosaur as well. We'll also see the replay system and game modes probably in 2023 too. Now, there's a chance we could see some more playables come to the game with Tylosaurus and Leedichthys and Rhamphorhynchus. However, it's more likely that these will come between 2023 and 2024 and around that time frame and onwards. With 2024, I think the game will be getting nesting, AI dinosaurs, some of the remaining playables that didn't release in 2023, 200 player servers, and some of the game modes and game mode maps that didn't release in 2023 as well. That then pretty much caps it off. The game is then done in 2024. We'll then probably be seeing more content coming for the next 5 or 10 years after that. Upwards of 2029 and onwards, we could be seeing content for this game. 2030 and onwards. That would be absolutely incredible for a game like this, a game that we all know and love. So, what do I think could be in the 10-year cycle? Now, the first thing is, with the 10-year cycle. I think once the game is complete, the game's actual update cycle will go from a fair few every couple months to maybe 1 or 2 a year. So every second quarter of the year, you'll be getting a update. So what do I think will be in it? Well, I firstly think we'll be getting more dinosaurs and other playable creatures in the game. I think we'll be seeing more flyers and more aquatics to fully ensure they catch up with the game's roster of dinosaurs. Currently, we only have 4 aquatics planned and 3 flyers planned, so I think definitely more flyers need to be brought in for the love. I personally think we should see some proper fishing-based pterosaurs, which could be interesting, like Pterodostro, with the diet mainly consisting of crustaceans, plankton, and algae. This will be something that is very similar to a flying version of lead ichthys, but a lot smaller, and it will be quite interesting with those brushes in its mouth. I think then we could also see a smaller pterosaur, something that would properly rival Microraptor, which could be a nice addition to the game, something like Sinomacrops, which is kind of similar to Jeholaterus, which is another similar pterosaur to that. A little cute bug-eating pterosaur, probably expand the roster out a little bit more, probably climbing trees and living in the trees alongside Microraptor and not really flying that far. For aquatics, I think we could see something like Placidus, a relatively small herbivorous aquatic reptile that could be a first fully aquatic herbivore in the game. I also think we could see Liplorodon. I think that's a given right there because, well, it's Liplorodon and we technically don't have a pliosaur in the game as well. Even Northosaurus will be a nice addition to the game as well because it's a very early aquatic reptile from the Triassic. But I do think there'll be more playables. I think there'll be some more dinosaurs as well, but I don't think there'll be many more dinosaurs. However, I also think there'll be more other additions to the game aside from playables. I personally think kill animations will come in this time period. This is something that is kind of similar to assassinations in older Halo games, which would be a nice thing. The developers did tease this in the past as well. I also think in this time frame we will see some extra store-based options for people as well as more skins for people to unlock in the game too, and some slightly different progression options, maybe an elder system and stuff like that, or more challenging game modes. Cycling back to the store-based options, I think that we'll see a return of the creator-based skins. We saw them in the crowdfunding version of the game, and those cannot be accessed anymore, and so we can't actually see them. That being said, of course, I do think adding some more store stuff will be a good idea when the game gets to this final end-of-life stage, so then it's a little bit more money for the developers to then put into either the game or other projects for them as well. I also think we could see a brand new map in this time frame as well, maybe something snow based, and maybe something that could see the introduction of more snow based dinosaurs, more fully fluffy dinosaurs and stuff like that. It'll be a nice addition. Then we'll have 3 maps, one a tropical island, one a forested map, and the other one a snow based map, which will be very nice. And those are my theories for the 10-year plan, and yeah, let me know what you think about them. And there we have it. Path of Titans is getting a 10-year plan, and it's something that I've actually wanted to talk about for some time now. I just didn't know how to properly construct this video in my usual way because the topic itself is quite small unless you then theorize what could be in the game in that 10-year plan. So do let me know, what do you guys think will come to the game in the next 10 years? 10 years from now, where do you think Path of Titans will be? Considering at the moment, this is probably the most in development and fastly paced development cycle for any dinosaur game going. So let me know your thoughts there. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you are new, feel free to subscribe, and other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.